Do you feel the vibes?
What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin coming back to you with another video. And I got MG here. We're gonna give a review, our opinion on John Wick 3 Parabellum, which they actually say what that means in the movie. Apparently, it has like a second meaning too. I think one of the meanings is like that's like a gun or whatever, and the other one is prepare for war, which that's the context they wanted to put it in terms of the name of the actual movie. But John Wick, Keanu Reeves is 50? He's in his mid-50s, and he comes out with a series like this. And I always liked it from the beginning. But with each movie, it's done better, not only box office wise, but also in terms of fan opinion. It's got, for a lot of people, it's gotten better with each movie. And I feel as though that's how I feel. It's gotten better with each movie. And you come into these movies, it's an action movie. Dude's an assassin. Nicknamed, if you've seen the movies, nicknamed Baba Yaga, which I think is like Russian for boogeyman or something like that. Mm-hmm. Keanu Reeves is a total badass. And if you look at the training this dude has to go through to, some of the things he does in this movie, gun training, he trains with killers, got Navy SEALs, guys like that in terms of his gun training, and he's been doing like judo and jiu-jitsu since the late 90s. So you could definitely, you watch the movies, you can see the training, and I think this is why a movie like this, more so than a lot of these other action type movies come out nowadays, when they do. When you see the choreography, when you see the action scenes, it doesn't look like they put in the work training. Obviously, they did to get their body to look a certain way, but this, you could tell, like, the dude actually, pretty sure he actually knows how to fight. You see a lot of people that, it's not believable that this person looks like they can fight. But brief story, John Wick 2, at the end, he breaks the rules of the Continental, and he kills somebody. He kills another assassin on Continental grounds, which gets you excommunicated or whatever. And he was excommunicated at the end of John Wick 2. He was given an hour to pretty much leave populated New York. And if you watch at the end of John Wick 2, it's like there's assassins everywhere. All you hear is phones ringing. And I was like, whoa, I want to see what happens in the third one. So the third one kind of picks off right from there. You still show him running through New York. And shit hits the fan real fast. It hits the fan real fast. You get a dope-ass action scene at the beginning. It's just action scene after action. They kicked it up from the first two movies, and it's fucking great. But that's essentially how the movie was set up. It's not grand storytelling, but if you're one of those nerds that talk about dialogue, you come into this movie looking for some kind of super deep story, why would you even watch the movies? As you got into a third movie, you know what they expect. You know what they expect, and I think it's one of the best currently in terms of action movies. Again, I can't think of too many. But Mission Impossible is pretty good. 007, James Bond movies, those are pretty good with Daniel Craig. But this one to me is right up there, especially when we're talking about modern action movies. But what do you think about the movies before we go into some of our favorite action scenes, for favorite moments in the movie?
Best John Wick out of the three so far, obviously. I thought obviously the fighting was amazing, but I thought the highlight of the movie for me was the cinematography.
Oh yeah, the shots were great. The camera work,
and even the colors. I'm big on that when it comes to movies, kind of colors and tones, and kind of how they set it up in the way. You can even kind of see it from the poster, kind of the vivid type of colors they use, where you get the dark setting, but there's certain things that are lit up. Like there was one spot towards the beginning of the movie where it's like dark. It's like super late out, at night or whatever. And they, the front of the Continental, you got the two bag check dudes out there with the red coats on, and it just and then it just imagery, it just stands out so much how kind of how they did the colors even in a lot of the other scenes. I thought that was great. I thought I thought the acting in it was pretty good. The lack of dialogue,
Who
people can
cares?
get over it. It's basically it's an action movie. It's
Hmm.
when you go to see an action movie, you don't go to see people talking.
Hell no. Who the hell
You
went
want
to John Wick looking for
you,
talk?
know, you want talking, go watch a rom-com or a drama.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, for an action movie, it really doesn't get much better than this. Like, this is the franchise of John Wick has stepped into that pantheon of action movie franchises that are it's fun, man, and it's really really fun to watch.
And I like the world built, like, for all the people who talk about, story or dialogue. I think it sets up a pretty good world where the world's essentially ran by assassins. You watch this movie, assassins control everything.
Hmm.
It's all in the back. Whoever they need dead, they're dead. Like, you got this mysterious high table, which counts of how many other people, and it's like I said, you watch the end of the second John Wick, and you see there are assassins everywhere. People, just normal people who could be an assassin. And I was like, well, that's pretty good world building, just to show that that's how much power the assassins have. And you assume after watching the first one, yeah, you got your small sect of assassins. Nah, they're like, of course they kind of work in the background. No, they are in control of most governments secretly.
Yeah. Have their own form of currency.
Have their own form of currency. Um, it's crazy how they kind of set up the world of John Wick, like how the assassins. Now, I think that's the cool thing that people kind of like I said, the story's whatever. I mean, you're not going to the movie to see story, but I think the world building for the movie is pretty good, actually.
Yeah, and I think in terms of the story, I think they do enough of explaining what's going on in the movie, to where you really don't need much talking. I mean, you start the movie, and I mean, especially for the people who hadn't seen the John Wick before, um, or more specifically, the second one. If people haven't seen the second one, if you've seen the first one, then and you didn't see the second one, you'd be fine with this. You'd be fine, kind of understanding some of what's going on in the movie. But if you didn't see the second one because of the ending, and kind of and how it ties into the beginning of this movie,
Hmm.
they do a good job of you understand, being able to understand what's going on, throughout the course of the movie. You see him running away from people trying to kill him, and then eventually you get a deeper explanation of it. I mean, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. So we don't need some giant, grand, elaborate plan. Like, sometimes we just want to see motherfuckers that just, well, you got a bunch of people trying to kill me, and I got to kill them to survive. Like,
And
it's the essence of an action movie.
one thing about John Wick, like, he has like a switch that he doesn't even like. Cause you look at it was kind of like he kind of has like an addiction to that, doing that shit. So like, you look at the first one, he buried his gun under cement because he wanted to get far away from doing that. Of course, he got pulled back in. And once he has his eyes set on the target, he won't stop. We saw that we did the guy in the first one, and the way it's set up for the fourth movie, which the fourth movie is coming out. They're talking a 2021 release, probably around the same time. But like he has that switch. And that was kind of the reason why he wanted to retire. And he gives a reason why he's like still like trying to fight, survive, or whatever. It was because like it was memories of his wife or whatever. I bet come to find out they like killed his wife or some shit. Did they ever say how his wife died in the first one?
I don't remember.
Yeah, me neither. I don't really remember. But the movie, like I said, it's a great action movie. Like, I think the antagonist, which you could say there were multiple antagonists in this one. The main one that you saw, the main one that he had to fight. What's the guy's name? I remember him from Iron Chef. That's what I remember from Iron Chef. That's mostly what I remember him from. As a matter of fact, he was in the Double Dragon movie from way back in the day. I know you remember that shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he was in that. I can't believe I remember from that for some damn reason. But he was pretty good. You know, he was there. He was to do what he was supposed to. He wasn't supposed to be this trying to outthink John Wick and that shit. No, he was just a guy supposed to be another wall, another obstacle that John Wick had to bash his way through. That's what he was. I think the more mysterious person was the chick, because you really didn't see her do anything, but you could tell you knew she was cold blooded.
Yeah.
She was one of those connections directly to the high table, which her and the other guy in the desert was he a member of the high table?
Yep. From what I know, from what they said, he was a member of the high table.
So you kind of see him more of who runs the assassin underworld.
Yeah, well, I think they did that very deliberately. I would not be surprised to see Halle Berry kind of get her own spinoff.
Could be. Oh, by the way,
because of how that happened, he's pretty much similar to what happened to John. So something tells me that either she'll be a big part in the fourth one if she's in it, or she's gonna end up with her own spinoff of some sort.
There's no way she's not in the fourth one. She had probably one of the best. Her and John Wick probably had one of the best.
She abandoned that nigga John, so she only helped him out because she owed him one.
Yep.
So I don't know.
Because I mean, but think about it though, they're gonna be coming for her too.
Yeah, that's why I think she might have her own movie. I would not be surprised if they try to kind of, because I mean, as far as with the John Wick movies, eventually they won't be able to put them out as frequently, and they will have to slow down. I mean, once you get to John Wick 5 and 6, you're gonna be like, okay, slow down.
Yeah.
You know. So I think they might throw a little spin-off, because that's what they're trying to do. They're building a world. So, because aren't they coming out with they're doing a TV show, I think, on Showtime.
Oh, shit, you know more than I do. I didn't know that.
Is it on Stars or Showtime? But the writers of the movie are doing a show that's canon and it's in the same world.
Huh.
Yep, and Keanu Reeves, I believe, is executive producing it.
Will he make an appearance?
I don't know. I just know he's executive producing it. I don't think he'll make an appearance though, just for the fact that I think they're trying to build a world. So, where you can do. And I think John Wick is just the first piece in it, and I think kind of the success of it is kind of giving them this idea to kind of build, this world of assassins, and John Wick is kind of the blueprint, and you'll have some spin-offs popping off of it. So that's one of the reasons why I think Holly might get a spin-off. Mm-hmm. Just because I know they're doing a spin-off TV show that's not based on John Wick himself. It's still set in the same world though.
How do you think she was in the movie? Based on what?
I thought she was great.
Yeah. I was surprised by the action stuff, because when have we ever seen her do that?
Yeah, the fighting is what surprised me.
Yeah, and apparently she did train with Keanu Reeves, and she said she broke a rib or something like that training. That was probably the most she's ever done in terms of training for a movie. It was. She said something about wanting to impress Keanu Reeves or some shit. But
oh yeah, and I think she's kind of. I think that character has some shelf life to it outside of the John Wick movies.
Yeah, the whole daughter thing kind of set up some
Yeah, and then you got the dogs. Like
dogs are badass.
I think she's got some shelf life if she's willing to put in the work, and they're willing to put. I mean, obviously you're not going to put the same budget into it that you would the original John Wick movies. It's going to be a smaller budget, but I mean, I think you can do something with that. Explore a different part of the world. 'Cause, John is set in New York, so do it in a different part of the world and kind of explore some of the scenery, and I think it'd be kind of cool.
Um, well, of course, Lawrence Fishburne's character is still in the movie. And we thought at a point that he got killed off. But
Yeah.
apparently that's gonna set up the next movie. I'm still like, I think we talked about this before, where we they coming out with a Matrix reboot or whatever. Obviously, none of the other characters are gonna be involved in any way, shape, or form. Put Carrie Ann Moss and John Wick 4 and have her work with Keanu and Lawrence Fishburne. Like, it was like, why would you go watch Matrix? You gonna watch John Wick? It's got action in it. It's got your three.
How old is she now, though?
I have no idea.
She looks old.
Shouldn't probably have to do that. Let me see. I'm gonna tell you how old she is. I'm looking it up. Yeah, no, she looked old when we saw her in like Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
But I just think it'd be a nice knock, because there are a lot of references to the Matrix, like
Yeah.
in terms of some of the stuff they say. Like when you're talking to Winston, it was like, "What do you need? Guns, lots of guns." Like, where the fuck is that from? Come on. But I think the movie's just a fun action movie that sets up a nice world and has really good. This is the only time I'll ever mention this on a video. That's why people don't watch fucking wrestling. I mean, you can go watch John Wick and it's like, why the fuck would I ever watch that other shit? But you can see scenes like the cinematography, the choreography. You can tell these dudes put in the work. Scene where he's throwing all the knives and he tomahawks the guy at the end and fighting like in some kind of antique store. The scene's dope as shit.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for action movies with a lot of fighting like that. Like, not just regular like street fighting type of shit, but like actual like martial arts and actual skilled fighting, like Keanu Reeves does in this, or like Jason Statham movies. I am a big fan of those type of movies. Like, action movies with older school guys like Arnold and Stallone are fine, but the only appeal to those movies to me is the guns. But I would much prefer to watch a style of movie like a Statham or a Keanu John Wick type movie, where there's just like nonstop martial arts and just creative ways of killing people. Like that to me is a fun action movie. In terms of something like that.
You could tell that he actually trained. You go look at that.
Not just that. There's an appeal to it for me. Like, I can sit down and watch horrible kung fu movies, like bottom of the barrel, 0 out of 10 kung fu movies. But if the fighting in it is good, I'll sit through and watch the entire thing with no problems.
You get a lot like that. It's just like the rest of the movie is total shit. But when they fight, you fucking watching.
Yeah, I'm all in. Like, I mean, I went on a binge. That's like a small addiction. Like, I would just go through Netflix maybe about 2 years ago, and I would just look for every kung fu movie I can find. I've probably watched at that point every kung fu movie that was on Netflix 2 years ago.
Oh gosh.
Even the one I remember, I told you about the one with my man's. He had the LeBrons on. He's supposed to be this kung fu master, but he in the middle of fucking, and it's set in the old school, and this motherfucker had on LeBrons and shit. Which it was a run. It was I guess it was a running joke because it was kind of a comedy. But
okay.
yeah, but the fighting in it was fine. I didn't care. Like as long as the fighting's good, I will fucking watch any fucking fighting movie.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the massive appeal to, like, that's why Jackie Chan's such a big deal. Like, you see the props, you see the fighting. This dude's fucking doing crazy shit with the stunts, but you can tell it's like this dude's just a lot of skill. And despite how the rest of the movie goes, like, man, when the action scene comes up, when he does a stunt or something that gets fucking adrenaline pumping, that's all you're there for. That's what you're there for.
That's why, I mean, like, even like a Jean-Claude Van Damme, his movies only go so far with me with appeal. Like Bloodsport, I fucking loved Bloodsport, right? I mean, it's a fucking fighting but it's a death match, basically. Some of the other Stallone movies where it's kind of like him trying to be a role and he just so happens to be fighting. I'm just into like the fast-paced fight shit. Like I said, like Statham, like the John Wick shit, the fast-paced fighting. I'm 100% the Kill Bill type of shit. Like I'm 100% there for that. Like you will not hear me complain about none of the fucking writing, none of the dialogue. As long as the imagery's good and as long as the fighting is good, I'm all in.
Mm-hmm. That's
all in.
That's those John Wick tries. It doesn't try to be much else. Like that's the draw. They know what the draw is. That's what it's trying to be. I mean, they set up a simple story to kind of get you to the action scenes. It was like, but the action scenes are number one. The action scenes are number one from the get go, and they make sure that's what it's being advertised as. Oh, by the way, Carrie-Anne Moss is actually only 51. So she's younger than Keanu Reeves. Yeah.
She don't look it.
Yeah, she don't. Maybe I guess.
Halle Berry's what, 50? She's up there. She's been around since the 90s, early 90s.
She's probably in her 50s.
She's gotta be.
Halle Berry's 52.
Okay, yeah, but Halle Berry don't look it.
No, she don't.
She look a good like 30 something.
Yeah. Like I said, this is the most I've ever seen her do in terms of action in a movie. Yeah, somebody in the comments got to tell me like what was the movie where she did a lot of fighting and all that.
I'm about to say you gonna skip over Catwoman like that?
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Oh my god. Movie like this kind of redeems it doesn't redeem a movie but redeems her in terms of can she do like an action scene. So like her and the dogs, that was freaking great.
Oh yeah, like I said, that's one of the reasons why I enjoy Daredevil so much.
Basically,
fast-paced fighting, cool. Mm-hmm. I'm in.
Yep. So what would you give it a scale of 1 to 10?
Considering the fact that I'm probably going to watch that movie probably another 10 to 15 times this year.
I'm definitely going to pick up, because I don't have the other two on Blu-ray. I'm definitely going to pick up the other two, and when the third one comes out, I'm pick that one up.
Yeah, I'm planning on seeing it a couple more times in the theaters, because I got the movie pass. So I'm planning on seeing it a couple more times. I just haven't had a chance to go see it again, but I am getting there as soon as possible, probably this week. I'm gonna go with a strong 9.7. I really, really liked it.
I'll go. And my scores always change. I'm gonna go 8.5. Definitely one of up to this point one of my favorite movies I've seen this year.
It's my favorite movie this year so far.
It's
my favorite movie.
Even over Endgame.
Oh, easily over Endgame.
You heard it here first.
I seen Endgame one time. I didn't say it. I seen Endgame one time. I've seen it a second time, and I don't want to ever see it again.
Oh wow.
John Wick, I will be watching multiple times.
I mean, we still have a few more movies coming out, but I don't know. Like, you still got. I think Brightburn came out this week. I know you're not going to see Aladdin.
Detective Pikachu is my second favorite.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That's my second favorite of the year so far.
Still haven't seen that. You got?
I'm a sucker for Charizard, for Charmanders and Pikachu's and Squirtles. I can't resist.
You got Dark Phoenix. You got Spider-Man: Far From Home. We've talked about that one, so that one probably won't make the list at all. The Lion King is the other big one that could be that movie, because I mean it's a childhood classic. It could be that movie that creeps up into that. So,
I do have a sleeper.
What's that?
Men in Black.
Really?
I think a lot of people are shitting on it because it's not the original cast, and obviously the third movie was so bad.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't like the second one either.
Really?
I like the first two, but a lot of people don't like the second and third ones. But I think that one's actually gonna be a good movie. Not something that you hand out awards for or anything, but I think you walk out of that movie saying, that was kind of entertaining. I'm not gonna come back and see it multiple times like that, but hey, I'm glad I saw it. I think it's gonna surprise people.
And of course, you got the last of the Toy Story movies. So.
Yep, you got the last of the Toy Story movies. I'm actually looking forward to the Shaft movie.
Yeah.
Because you got two original Shafts in it. What else came out? Well, is coming out this year.
Not much. Like some of the summer ones kind of pointed. I don't know. I know you're not going to see
Godzilla's coming out.
Yeah, that's at the end of the month. I know you're not going to see Hobbs and Shaw in August.
I'll see that before I see a Robert Pattinson Batman.
There you go.
And actually, I heard Godzilla. I heard one of the big complaints was that there's too much focus on the monsters fighting.
That means it's good.
Dialogue. That's exactly what I was thinking.
That makes it good. I saw that tweet, and matter of fact, I retweeted that where somebody said like early screenings where critics were complaining about not enough humans. Great. That makes it.
Yeah,
I'm definitely going to see it now. I'm definitely going to see it now. That's what
probably go this week.
what critics are going into that movie, and we're almost done, fellas. What critics go into a movie like that? It's kind of the same thing with John Wick. We get to bring John Wick back up. Of course, it's a review of it. You go into a movie where John Wick, it's an action movie. You go to see action. Action is the first thing. Everything else is secondary. You go into a Godzilla movie. You want to see the monsters fight. It's what it's always been about. That's the first thing you go in to see. You want to see Godzilla fight Mothra, whoever, King Ghidorah, Rodan. That's what you want to see from Godzilla. And these movies like that are given exactly what their genre, exactly what they advertise it for. That's what they're giving us. And people complaining, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's like what they. It seems like the only movies that do good are like these indie movies or these movies where it's ultra, I guess these technical movies, all the technical terms that come out there to talk about the dialogue and all this other shit. Man, look here, you watch these cornballs on YouTube. Now I'm sounding like Bruce. You watch these cornballs on YouTube, and just listen to the way some of them talk. One, they have a nasally voice. You listen to the way some of them talk. No one talk. One, they're not professionals. They don't get paid to do it. I mean, they probably make money from the YouTube videos, but they don't get paid to critique movies.
Yep.
And those guys, to me, are completely disconnected and unrelatable, referring to the professional movie reviewers. You got these other guys who are essentially almost regurgitating the same shit. No one talks like that. No one talks the way these guys talk when reviewing movies. You go into a horror movie, you expect some horror shit. Go into an action
another
movie.
one that looks good. It. How did you say horror?
Yeah, I'm gonna see that. I actually want to go see the first one. But that's to me that's the problem. A lot of these guys aren't really relatable. People don't talk like that when we're talking about a movie. You go in the movie strength. John Wick strength is the action. Different. You gauge movies based on that genre. You don't compare. You don't expect John Wick to have an Inception like story or whatever. Come on.
Exactly.
But what I would give John Wick, because I didn't give my score. I did get my score. I was thinking I'm going with a 8.5 because that score could change next week. I do plan on going to see it again, but definitely the best of the John Wick movies, and it seems the fourth one looks like it could possibly step it up. Depends on who they add to the cast. Like I said, they add Carrie-Anne Moss. It's probably gonna be better. And if she obviously can do anything in terms of fighting, I guess. Like I said, she's
on your wish list. My wish list is Christian Bale.
Yeah, I mean the movie from a box office standpoint has already done the entirety of the first one, I believe, the second one, and so the box office each week is going up. I mean, each movie is going up. You can only expect that with the fourth, and
I just want a Christian Bale, Keanu Reeves like Equilibrium type gunfight.
Oh my gosh, that was the Equilibrium fight. The guns, it was a gun kata. That was so dope.
Bro, if they put some gun kata in this shit, bro, especially with the reloading shit that they do, bro, I swear to you, bro,
it goes into the pantheon of legendary action franchises.
I'm telling you now, if they add that, I'm there. I'm flying out to California for the premiere. Okay, I'm not even gonna wait till they hit theaters. I'm flying out to the premiere. I might even be on set while they film it. Okay,
they're due for a big actor in it. Like I think the series, especially with this one, with the way this one's done, budget's gonna go up, and they're due for another big actor as either another protagonist that's kind of helping them, or an antagonist.
And here's the thing, you can, because it is becoming a bigger franchise, and eventually you're not gonna have Keanu Reeves. Eventually Keanu Reeves is gonna kind of step away from the character and kind of step into more of a writing production role, obviously for that for the world of John Wick, right? So because eventually he's just gonna be like, all right, I've played this character enough. Because he's got other projects he's doing too, like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures and shit like that. So eventually he's going to step away and he's going to step more into the creative process for the role. I would love to see like a Christian Bale kind of take over the lead character role once Keanu steps down.
They'll probably get somebody. Like,
because I think
they'll probably get somebody new.
Perfect for it.
He would be. They'll probably get somebody new though, knowing the way like movies go. They'll probably get somebody much younger.
Because if you told me John Wick was going to create 2 spin-offs, one with Halle Berry and one with Christian Bale, if they decide to try to get him in on the movies, money, lots of money being made.
And for like I said, Halle Berry made a really big impression, at least on me in terms of just the action.
Yeah,
she wasn't in the movie as much as I thought. But she was in probably the best action sequence in the entire movie. There was a lot of good ones. She was in probably one of the best. And just the way people get killed in this movie is brutal.
Oh, and they start off with the first kill with the book.
Oh, Boban.
Yeah, Boban from the Sixers.
Yeah.
Got his head snapped on the fucking book.
Like
his neck snap.
Then the movie gets more brutal with each movie, and come on, blood, violence. I mean, hey, there's a definite place for that, And for 2021, we'll get the fourth one. We'll see just how because apparently he's gonna go after the high table, so we'll see how that goes. But I think we're done. John Wick. If you're a fan of action films, if you're not seeing this movie, what the fuck are you watching this video for? But if you've seen this one and you haven't seen the other two, kind of like on the fence, go back and watch the other 2 movies. It's, to me personally, in this time period, Recent memories definitely up there in the pinnacle of action films. You get so many action. You got movies like Atomic Blonde. That shit sucks. You got the movie with Taraji P. I can't remember the name of it. That movie sucks. I mean, I like apparently Expendables coming back, so that's gonna be a good one just because of all.
Oh, you got after what they made, yeah, you know.
Yeah, with all the legendary like action actors gonna be there. Of course, the 007 is gonna be good. Mission Impossible is gonna come out another one. That one's been a good franchise since the '90s. But I think personally, like it hasn't been around as long as like a Mission Impossible. Of course, it's a James Bond. But in terms of the modern action films, right there, I can't think of like current new ones that's better, personally. But y'all like this video? Hit that thumbs up button. Hit the bell because a lot of people don't be seeing my videos. And sub. Peace. We're out.